Your choice. Do whatever. I focus everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll welcome you back to the Hungarian here in Hungary. I'm joined here today by XRL Herbie, and we're going to be bringing you live the XRL Extreme Racing League X2 races here at Hungary, the final event of this weekend for XRL. Again, I've been St. Lear 13, just about 35 minutes removed from the X3 race that was really chaotic. From start qualifying to the aborted start to the end of the race. Wow, that was crazy. Herbie, you were there with us for a lot of that. Go ahead and tell us from your perspective, what can we look forward to in today's race?
Well, in the X2 division, and obviously you've got really fast drivers in it that's competing to get to the higher group of X1. You've got more of an aspect of people getting to the 114s, 115s. Obviously the X3's got to the 160s. And 115s, but your main guy aspect for tonight's race would be probably Anderson in the McLaren, or maybe Mr. Schmee in the Ferrari.
It's going to be very interesting. There's also a little bit of different fortunes when it comes to manufacturers. Certain manufacturers that don't do so well in X3 or the development series will do extremely well here because you have better drivers who might be better attuned to how to set up the cars and how the cars have their little quirks and stuff. So when we get underway here, same thing as we normally do, 3 qualifying sessions. Qualifying 1 is going to be about 18 minutes where all 20 drivers have to set down the fastest laps they can. The 15 fastest drivers will migrate into qualifying sector 2. Once you're in qualifying sector 2, that's where you set up the tire strategy for the race by deciding what tire you start the race on. The fastest 10 drivers from qualifying 2 will also migrate into qualifying 3. Qualifying 3 is where the field gets set for the top 10 starting grid positions. Yes, making it into Q3 is not even close to going to guarantee you points, but it will help you significantly because a good top 10 starting position is going to be extremely important. But another thing that's going to be extremely important, and we saw this in qualifying for X3 earlier, don't block the track when you're in qualifying. We saw 3 different drivers end up getting grid start penalties for blocking the track. You really cannot afford to do that here. It's a very technical circuit. There's 3 actual overtaking spots that I noticed when I was broadcasting X3 earlier and when I was watching Development League yesterday, but realistically, for actual good overtaking, there's only one truly safe spot, and that's a DRS-assisted overtake at the end of the front straightaway. The rest of the track, very technical all the way from start to end. I imagine we'll be getting underway shortly as everyone is beginning to ready up here. Again, 50% race distance, so if we go green from start to end, the race itself should take about an hour's time. Afterwards, we'll try and go ahead and talk with our race winner. So,
Who do you reckon you'll have on your grid for the top 3? What's your aspect?
I don't feel confident making those calls. I won't feel confident making those calls until after Q2 is done. The last 2 times I broadcasted X2, there were a few very dominant drivers, obviously, but there was a lot of craziness that happened more in the midfield that really shook things up. So I don't feel confident making those kind of calls until we get into Q3 right now. So, also, it seems like there are a few new names, a few different names now than where there were earlier in the year when I got to broadcast for the series. when we were back at like Zandvoort earlier in the season. So
I'm gonna say
there's that as well also.
There's a from last week. Obviously, I did it last week. I see quite a couple of few names there that are new. That Ryan Hurricane, can't remember him from last week, and also I am Kenza. He's a new name into the X2 league.
There's also likes of like Elephant Starfish, CJ Allen, Lowe, Dedger, Jabaston, Joffrey, Shmi, Hurricane, Zola, Wallaby. Like, I recognize a lot of these drivers.
Yeah.
Some of them because they had a few starts in X3 last year. I got to cover a pair of X3 races late last season. And then some of them I recognize from prior X2 events. I think I might be wrong, but I think I saw Anderson running in the Dev League yesterday. I think. Don't quote me. I think I saw him there or some.
I think he did. I'll take that your word for that. I think he did.
Yeah, I think. I'm not confident enough to put money on that, but I think I did. So yeah, I'm generally familiar. So here's an interesting scenario going into this race. 20 drivers, just like it was for X3. X2 is having an overcast qualifying session. It's going to be very interesting. We don't know if we're going to have rain or if it's going to be dry. The threat of rain can really, really upset qualifying here, without a doubt. If you get one fast lap in really early on and then rain comes and washes the track out, sorry, game over. You may have already gotten the top position just by virtue of saying the early fast lap.
I'm sure some people on the stream may come up and tell you if it's a wet race or not. I'm just going to check it out now.
Yeah, that's one disadvantage I have. I'm not, because I do all my streaming right off of Xbox, I do not have access to actually watch the chat during the stream, sadly, so...
Mr. Zola, that's in the... I believe is that Red Bull he's in?
Yeah.
He's come through on chat saying it's a dry quali race. And the race is dry till the end, where they're expecting rain.
That could make things very interesting. One of the other things I would say is going to be very interesting is Elephant Starfish being the first driver out, trying to immediately get a grip on the track, and they're staying on the circuit before anyone else. He's already going through Sector 2 right now in that Renault, and he's already validated his first lap. Again, not too much of a worry. It's just a banker lap, setup lap, preparation lap for now, but typically don't want to be playing too hard and too fast with the track limits here. It can really bite you in the ass. Not just in invalidating your lap time, but also wrecking your car.
Oh, certainly. I know that from being in an X3 race not long ago. Starfish now coming through to the pit straight. Started flying that.
Already we have about half of the field already on their out lap. We're beginning a flying lap, and that number will only continue to go up. Although we do seem to see, one thing I do appreciate next to is typically once drivers in the top 5 or so have locked in their times, they'll normally retire relatively early. It helps keep the track a lot cleaner, a lot freer, cuts down the incidents in qualifying. It's one thing I really do appreciate for the X2 drive. I really appreciate it from the X2 drivers.
I think,
that would mean that Dedger, 1988, would be the first person to put down a lap time. He has 27 seconds in Sector 1 right now.
I think that's what we're going to see in the next season of XRL. That the rules and regulations will be, if you're in the top so far you feel comfortable, please do retire.
I only see about 6 cars that are still on the pit lane at the moment, and another purple sector for Dedger. Granted, it is his first flying lap, but still, anytime you see purple on the track, it's very, very good for you. As he now comes into the final corner, so Dedger 1988 will set the initial bar to pass here in qualifying Sector 3, and someone has gone around there in turn 5. That's Kinzak? I'm going to say Kinzak. Kinzak has gone around there in turn 5. He is back underway. He backed it into the fence. I don't see any damage to that car, so as long as there's nothing significant with the rear wing, he should be okay.
Yeah, he's still moving now. King Jeffrey puts in a 115 flat.
Yeah, 115.052, so right off the bat, 15s are the times we're looking at, and Joffrey invalidates his very next lap, though, going through turn number 4, just a little bit too aggressive on the curb, invalidates the lap, but for the moment, he's at the top, and the numbers are quickly changing. Here we are, Alfa Romeo. You've seen this manufacturer up at the top a lot. CJ Allen, 114.261. This is relatively early, and another car has gone off there in turn 5. That's a McLaren, and that's XRL Anderson, who has gone off. He's underway, but moving very slowly right now. Just trying to make sure that there's clean track ahead of him and behind him, so he doesn't end up invalidating other people's laps here. Here comes Ryan Hurricane. He's coming out of the final corner, but it looks like he may have invalidated his lap. Yes, he has. So Ryan Hurricane, the other Alpha, gonna have to go a little bit longer before he can set an actual lap time here.
You've got Mr. Fee.
11 drivers. Yeah, 11 drivers have already set their lap times. Kenzak right now, the odd one out after he went around. He set a time, but and that's one of the Mercedes driving right perpendicular to the track there. Who was that? That was Hutch. Yeah, that's Hutch. Hutch, who currently has a 116.874. He's gone around there on that mini straight. Damaged the front wing, and he misses pit lane entrance completely. He shot through pit lane entrance, so he's going to have to go another lap around with a significantly damaged front wing. And that's going to eat up time, that's going to eat up tire wear, that's going to eat up track for other people around him. I believe that is Elfin Starfish who's going to come up on him. And it looks like Starfish may still be on a flying lap. He's put 3 laps on his soft tires at the moment right now. And he might be able to put another one down if Hutch doesn't end up being in the way. Also, credit to Kenzak. He has improved 115.838.
I've also noticed that the second driver to get into the 114's Beers Boost at 114.6.
Beard Boost's already pulled into the pits. Very satisfied for now, so now it's just going to be a matter of crunching the adjustments and trying to see where you can improve.
Flying Wallabies coming with their third position so far at 114.9.
Shmi is on another outlap trying to improve his time of 115.813, and Zola, Davis John, and XRL Low are all on their own outlaps at the moment.
I believe Jono may come out with about 6 minutes left. I reckon.
There is, so it's very common for me at least to talk about the advantage of getting out there and putting a few fast banker laps in relatively early. But there can be a psychological advantage to being confident and it'll just say confident. Being confident in your setups. If you're confident in your setups, you can go out and without running setup laps, you immediately put down a time in the top 3, top 4. That can really be both psychologically boosting for yourself, but also demoralizing for the other drivers. There is an advantage in doing that. I myself am not a fan of doing that myself, but it is an option. It can definitely be done, and you can definitely take a lot of I guess, coins to the bank to start out a good race.
Yeah, sure.
If you want to talk about it like that.
Mr. Lowe's got purple sector 1 on his flying lap. I believe he's got Davis John behind him.
Yeah, Lowe and John will be the next people to set their times down. Here we are, 53.670 for Lowe, exiting Sector 2. Now through Sector 3, a little bit simpler of a set of corners. Not easy, but simpler compared to the very technical Sector 2 here. Here comes Lowe coming out of that final corner. Exits nice and wide, puts half the car on the rumble strips, and at the line, Lowe will jump into 6th with a time of 115.673. And he will be joined by Davis John. Wow, will he be joined by Davis John? Davis John right below him on the time. He's 1:15.719. As of now, only 4 drivers have yet to set their laps, and Zola, I think it looks like he's invalidated, is actually pitting, so he is aborting his lap right now. Smoothie 25, XRL Anderson, neither of them have left the pits yet. Zola has attempted a lap, but invalidated it and has immediately come back in. And then you have XRL Jono, who is currently going through the last 2 corners. He will begin his flying lap very shortly. Okay, so I'm just a little bit curious, Herbie, because you've been here earlier today. You were in the X3 race.
Yeah.
What is the ideal way to tackle this circuit when it comes to car setup? Do you want to run a lot of downforce? Do you want to run more downforce in the front, downforce in the rear because you want to keep the rear under you? When it comes to suspension setup, a softer one, a harder one, like what's the ideal way to build your car for this race track?
Well, for me, what I used was a 610 wing. Basically, we'll give it the front wing being up, the front wing being quite low down, the rear wing being far up. The ride height, you want to be just averaging just below minimum maximum load that you can get. Obviously, you've got some really fast beds on here. And that's how I use mine really, and it never caused me any problems to be fair, until I crashed out.
Yeah, even with the perfect setup, it can be very easy to let this track get to you and mess you up. Jono sets his first lap of the day, 1:15.860. We have 7 minutes left on the clock. Anderson has yet to leave pit road. Zola and Smoothie 25 are both about to set their flying laps. In fact, Smoothie has just begun his first flying lap. So I see Elfin Starfish, he's on an outlap, and he's got Jono right behind him. They might be trying a little bit of a slipstream shenanigans on the front stretch between those Renault machines. I'll be interested to see if they can make that happen.
It looks like the Renaults are helping each other out to try and get into the top 15.
Yeah, for right now, Elfin Starfish is the leader of this little pair here. He's on his outlap. Jono's behind him. So Jono should have the slipstream coming onto the front stretch. CJ Allen very confident with his time. He has set 1:14.261, and he's already retired. He's the first driver to retire. Feels no need to push any harder. And Jono actually comes to the pits, so nope, Starfish is going to keep going on his own now. So misread what we saw there.
I was just going to say, Smooth's just not made it so far at the minute. It's in 18th at 1:16.6.
Meanwhile, Zola is coming down now through the last 2 corners. He will set his lap very shortly here, and XRL Anderson is finally out on the track. He is beginning his out. At the line, XRL Zola, his first time of Q1 will be a 1:16.448. We're seeing quite a spread here, about a spread of about 1.4, no, actually more like 2.4. A spread of about 2.4 seconds from the top to the bottom, top to top. So, yeah. And then we don't know where Anderson might fall into that as well. So, yeah, like you said, Smoothie, he set a time, but it's not the greatest. Yeah, he needs to find a way to take a little bit off of that. Smoothie, this current lap is just more of a calmer lap. He's already down 6 seconds. I think he's just calming down, trying to get everything ready for a flying lap coming up shortly here. Anderson on his flying lap, he's going through He just got out of the chicane in Sector 2 now. Trying to take us through some of the faster 90-ish degree corners. Now onto that real short straight. And he's invalidated. He ran a little bit wide coming out of Sector 2, invalidates the lap, so he's going to have to go another lap before he can do it. Kenzak has gone ahead and retired from the session. No need to tear up the car, no need to push too hard. Beard Boost as well is going to retire. So 3 of our top 5 fastest drivers have retired from the session. We still have about 3.5 minutes left to go.
Mr. Schmee's coming back up.
Also of note, XRL Fiend is out there. He is 14th. Ooh, and Wise Uter up there in 3rd. 114.671, Flying Wallaby 114.963. So we now have 4 drivers who have broken the 114 mark. As I was going to say, XRL Fiend, he's right barely on the inside. Oh, he's right on that bubble now. 15th on the timesheet from the 115.923. He's still out there trying to see if he can improve in these closing moments.
I see Q3, we're going to have a team time coming in.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right there. Fiend really gets sideways there at the apex of turn 1. He's kept the car under him though, but man was that close. Anderson, another invalid lap. So Anderson really struggling to keep the laps clean and legal here. He is the last driver to have not set a lap time yet.
Fiend's just validated his lap. He's trying to get around quick as he can.
Zola is on an outlap, and he'll have just enough time to get this outlap done and then do one flyer. He is on the outside looking at the inside right now, as is XRL Hutch. He will have time to finish this lap and potentially get 2 more laps as well, and he hits the wall! He's totaled the car! XRL Hutch bobbles, and he's gonna total the car! One of the Renault's gonna drive by, one of the Red Bulls drive by, but Hutch's car absolutely destroyed. The entire left side of the car completely ripped asunder, and that's really gonna hurt for Hutch.
That's in a really bad position as well. These guys need to be careful when they approach this corner.
His teammate Davis John is coming up through that section now. They've already moved Hutch's car from the track. Phantom is on an outlap, but he's going to be really close to see if he's going to be able to... Anderson, he's finally clean coming out of Sector 2, so going through Sector 3, will Anderson be able to set a time that will get him into Q2? That's the real question.
It's looking like a 115, I'm going to say, 116. Oh, wow.
Not a good time at all.
No.
Almost out of fuel. 118.059 with 44 seconds left. He's not going to be able to improve on that.
To the time he's going to do his flying lap now for his last time going around.
Vizier retires from the session, confident with his time. Shmi in 11th right now, still out there. A little bit down on his best time, about 2/10 down in Sector 1 for now. Zola's invalidated his lap, so Zola is not going to make it into Q2 unless he can get by the line in time. He does! So Zola has one more lap that he might be able to improve on. The RL Phantom, 19th on the timesheets right now. What is he going to be able to do coming out of that final corner? He improves, but only the 16th. He's 200ths off of XRL Fiend right now. Zola had a purple Sector 1. He's now in Sector 2. But he's going to have to make significant improvement. He needs to improve by about, I'd say about 5,500ths if he wants to make it in to Q2. And if he does that, he will beat out his teammate XRL Fiend in the process.
Well, very quick here for Zola.
Smoothie 25 has abandoned his lap attempt, so Smoothie is not going to make it. Zola is the big question. Will he be able to make it into Q2? Coming out of the final corner, DRS open. 116.068. It's not good enough.
That's 2 Red Bulls out. Only one Red Bull in, sorry.
No manufacturer loses both of their cars, but definitely some manufacturers came really close, primarily looking at the Red Bull, but also to a lesser extent the Williams of Smoothie 25. He got knocked out low, only at the 115.673. He a little bit closer to that barrier of getting knocked out than I would have liked, but in the end, yeah. But really, really disappointing for Hutch and Anderson. Anderson wasn't able to get it set up properly, only had 3 laps to go for. First 2 laps invalidated, and the third lap ran out of ERS and fuel by the looks of it coming out of the last corner. And then one of our Mercedes completely totals his car, exiting Sector 2. But looking at the lineup now, CJ Allen, Beard Boost, Wise User, Flying Wallaby, Deadger 1988, King Joffrey, Ryan Hurricane, I Am Kinzak, Joe Pelly, Elfin Starfish, Davis Dom, Mr. Shmee, XRLO, XRL Dono, and XRL Fiend will be the drivers who will make it into the next round. As BRL Phantom, Zola, Smoothie 25, Hutch, and Anderson will not advance to qualifying Section 2. Now this is the point where things are going to get interesting, because already almost everyone is immediately deciding to start this qualifying session on the medium tires. It's very tempting to go out there, set a really good lap on mediums, and be confident and be like, yeah, I got it. And then you see other drivers go out there just a little bit faster than you on the mediums. You might be 8th, 9th, 10th, or even worse, outside the top 10 on your mediums, and you look and the sweat starts forming in your eyebrows, and you start getting really worried, and you're like, I can't start that low down. And you throw your strategy to the wind, and you jump onto the softs and try to make it into the top 10 on the soft tire compounds. So you might end up sacrificing overall a decent strategy for a good race start. And a track like this, where so much importance is going to be on having a good position, that might actually be a somewhat reasonable strategy to take. So the first driver out on the track for this section is going to be XRL Low. Also of note, he is the only driver to be starting this session on the soft tire compounds. All 14 other drivers are going to be running the mediums. At least they're going to be starting on the mediums. They might not be running mediums by the end of the session.
Get all my dials up. It's only XRL Low that's coming out on the softs.
He's the only one that's done so thus far. XRL Fiend has, I couldn't tell if he went around or he came to a complete stop, but he was stopped for a long time there in about turn 9-ish. He's back underway now, but he's definitely stopped on the track for a while. I'm a little curious as to what the idea was going on there for him.
I think Lev's realised and he's going to come back into the pits now. He probably will be putting his medium tires on.
That means that once again, Edgar 1988 will be the first driver to put down a lap time and set the bar for Q2. Again, assuming he doesn't invalidate the lap.
I believe it won't be. I believe it will be Jono.
Oh, you're right. Jono's actually well ahead of Edgar.
I've just noticed it
on there.
I've just noticed it on the full map.
Oh no, it won't be! Because he spun it!
Oh, is he out?
He spun it there in sector 2.
Oh, he's still there. He's still there.
He's still on. He's still going. The car is not completely ruined yet.
Oh, it's going again.
Oh, he spins it again! And that's going to damage the front wing even more. Here it is. Got to be really careful putting the power down, mate. Flying Wallabies coming up. Flying Wallabies actually going to pull over.
Oh, nice. Flying Wallabies. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, Dono, significant front wing damage. Commentator's curse. It looks like he will not be the first one to settle lap time. And Dedger invalidates his lap and jumps into the pits. So it's going to be Elfin Starfish instead, who will set the first lap time of the session, 1:16.406, as his teammate XRL Dono is going to limp around the second to last corner and enter the pits here.
That's unfortunate, that for Johnny.
You know, if there's a company out there who just made front wings for this game, they would be a multi-billionaire company, for sure.
Mr. Schmeeds just put a 116.9 in. Not a 116.6. Oh, XRL has been discovered by blocking pit lane.
Fiend has spun it around in turn 5. Our second fastest driver thus far has looped it in turn number 5. He's laying there to get some clean track ahead of him before he gets underway. And Uter! Wise Uter has looped it around also. He is sideways with the rear tires of the car still on the racetrack. Gets a little bit of clean track. Be careful putting the throttle down, and he is now beginning to move back underway again. A very chaotic qualifying 2. These aren't the X3 guys, but they're definitely putting on a show like it's an X3 event. Normally X3 is known for its chaos, and we're seeing a lot of chaos here in the X2 Q2 event here right now, for sure.
Flying Wallaby now is coming through. It finishes flying lap at 116.2. Goes first.
Wise Uter has invalidated his lap, obviously. So right now, 9 minutes and 40 seconds, and only 6 drivers have set lap times thus far. Now, Dotfree and Dedger are both on out laps, so that will probably change for them sooner rather than later. But there's still 5 drivers who are still in the pits who have not gone ahead and moved forward. And then obviously, like you said, XRLO got disqualified for blocking the pits for Dedger 1988. Don't really know what was going on there, but yeah, that's definitely gonna hurt.
There's 7 drivers there, still in the pit, so still have to put the lap time in with 8 minutes left to go. Jeffrey now starting his flying lap. Oh, Jeffrey's lost it! Jeffrey's lost it! Oh, wing damage! He lost it on turn 3. He's rejoining now, he's on his way to coming back into the pits, I believe. Beggar's got an invalid lap. John is now back out. Oh, wow! That was tense. So AlphaTauri is fine. Low after turn 1. Jesus. Jeffrey now is coming into the pit. On the AlphaTauri is now coming through. Oh, unlucky Wise, it's got invalid lap.
Here's Beard Boost now. Very, very poor lap. I think he's invalidated possibly this entire lap. Almost the entire track is referenced, so I'm pretty sure he's invalidated this lap. So he's going to have to go another circuit. Jono's on another outlap. Uter has just finished his outlap, so here is another attempt to try and get this going here. Still no time. Again, only 5 seriously competitive times at 6.5 minutes in. It's really, really bizarre what we're seeing here.
It's gonna be really busy in the next 5 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah. The next driver I'm looking at that will set an actual time will be Wise Uter, and he's invalidated. Wise Uter invalidates the lap just as I said it. Jono is still good. Jono has set a time, so this is gonna get really, really chaotic. There's not gonna be a lot of free real estate on this racetrack here, and you can tell that because even the 5 drivers who have set times, none of them have retired. None of them are confident at their times right now because there are 8 drivers, 9 if you want to count Jono, who haven't set an actual competitive time yet. There is so much up in the air. We don't see this very often. This is really, really bizarre.
They're definitely not going to be comfortable yet, are they? Because in Q1, as you saw, people getting 115, even 114s. And we've still got, what, 7, 8 drivers out there? Well, no, 7. 7 drivers out there still haven't put a lot of time in. They are potential to get a 114.
Jono, an improvement of about 39 seconds, but he's still 5 seconds off the back of Kinzak. So Jono still needs to improve a lot. Here comes Beard Boost. Beard Boost at the line. There we are, to the top. 115, and Dedger is going to dump onto the softs.
I think Dedger's jumping on the softs and they'll just be wanting to jump to the top row.
It might work with so few drivers having actually set times. Running softs might get you a good position. Kinzak feeling really confident with his time. He is retired, even though he's the slowest of all the competitive times thus far. Allen not able to set a competitive time still. Ryan Hurricane now across the line. Here comes Dedger coming out of the pits for his outlap. Davis John at the line. 123.681. So that's 2 drivers, Jono and Davis, who are both significantly off pace right now. Here comes Wise Uter out of the final corner now. DRS open. Uter to 3rd on the time sheet, 116.259.
Coming through now.
Now it's starting to take shape. Now we're starting to see it all. Joffrey has gone around, coming out of 5. Ooh, that was a hard hit. He put on the reverse gear really hard, and he may have damaged the rear end of that car. I don't see any damage, but there may be damage on the back end of that car.
He has got wind damage. He has got wind damage on his left side.
Joe Pelly, 115.823. Beard Boost is coming into the pits. Here comes CJ Allen out of the final corner. What will he set in that Alfa Romeo? How about a time of 115.632? How about his teammate Ryan Hurricane? Hurricane at the line.
Beard Boost is retired.
Yep, Beard Boost confident. Ryan Hurricane, 116.369. Davis John retiring into the pits. He wants to get onto a different tire compound. He's going to have to do it fast. Dedger through Sector 1 right now. He's the one of only 2 drivers on softs at the moment. Flying Wallaby also playing on softs, but he's in the pits for the moment. Joffrey pitting to repair the damage to that wing. Right now. Ooh, this could get really interesting. Also, note, Kinzak, he retired early. That's going to bite him in the butt. He's 11th already. He will not advance into Q1. He definitely had the speed to, but he was so confident that it looks like it's caught him out. He's not going to advance. So now the question is between Davis John, King Joffrey, and Dedger 1988, will any of them be able to knock out Mr. Shmee, Fiend, or Starfish to make it into Q1?
This is going to
Q3.
This is going to look like a 114 from Dedger at the minute. It's on the purple Sector 2. Which is final corner now.
That final corner, Nice straight exit. The DRS opens up at the line. Dedger to the top. 114.588 on the softs.
He is quick.
King Joffrey is on the way out, as is Flying Wallaby, and one of the Mercedes, I think that's Jamestown. Yes, Jamestown is also on the way out. Mr. Schmee is still out on the circuit. He needs to improve. He's invalidated this current lap, but he needs to improve by about 5/10ths if he wants to make it into Q3. And that's the bare minimum improvement, assuming that Jamestown and Joffrey don't improve.
If I was Mr. Wallaby, I'd be helping King Joffrey to get up into the top 10.
Joffrey and Wallaby both running soft tire compounds. Still, the vast majority of the drivers on track have selected to stick with mediums, feeling very confident. Beard Boost and CJ Allen definitely in good position. I think Hurricane's a little bit borderline, but more than likely he'll stay in and make it into Q3. But Kinzak, bad decision by him to retire early. He is now out of Q3 by default of just, I will say, overconfidence. Joffrey has now begun his flying lap. One of the three drivers out in the circuit running softs, the other ones being Dedger, who is pulling into the pits, and I think he's probably retiring, and Flying Wallaby, his teammate. Everyone else still running the medium tire compounds. With only 20 seconds left in the session, this is very rare. Normally we see a lot more strategies getting thrown away and swapping of tire compounds in the last 5 minutes. But because of the nature of the track limits here, and just a very, very unique scenario in general, a lot of drivers on the medium tire compounds stay on the mediums for the majority of the session.
Oh, never. Mr. Schmee hold back to try and get into the last second of it to get his flying lap in, and he's missed it.
So that means Mr. Schmee out of contention. It's all come down to Jabez John and King Joffrey. Joffrey has yet to set a lap. Jabez John, he's invalidated his current lap. So his best lap is only a 123.681. That means at best he's only going to be 13th. This is not looking good for Jabez John. The Mercedes team really, really struggling bad right now. So the question is, King Joffrey on those softs coming out of the final corner, what will his time be? He's waiting until the last second to post it.
All racing points up in the top 10.
114.801.
Crazy.
Impressive job. And Wallaby at the line, not really pushing too hard, no need to. Well, that's going to put a cap on qualifying 2. A very interesting Q2. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that where it took so long for drivers to just put down even a banker lap. We went like the better part of 9 minutes with only 6 truly competitive times.
And also, you just had so many incidents going off at just all in one section. It just seemed to happen so quick. And then with obviously like 7 guys also remaining within 6 minutes to 5 minutes left remaining, and they still haven't put lap time in. It's a bit crazy to be fair.
Yeah, and for drivers like Elfin Starfish, who just barely made it in, it's going to feel really lucky. For someone like XRL Fiend, Mr. Schmee, Kinzak, John Lowe, it's going to be really aggravating, especially for Kinzak, because when he retired, he was still, I think, like 7th on the timesheets. I don't think he anticipated so many drivers to finally be able to put down respectable times in the last 4 minutes. But it helped happen. It really hurt him. I imagine Kinzak in the race itself is going to be driving with a fury and with a passion.
Well, that Q2 over.
And of significant note, only 2 drivers in the top 10 will be starting the race on softs. That's Dedger 1988 in the Ferrari and King Joffrey in the Racing Point. Everyone else 3rd to 10th on the mediums. That includes Beard Boost McLaren, CJ Allen's Alfa Romeo, Joe Pelli Haas, Flying Wallaby Racing Point, Wise Uter AlphaTauri, Ryan Hurricane Alfa Romeo, and Jono and Starfish in the Renaults. Good job at Renault for making it just barely, but they both made it in to Q3. They will join Alfa Romeo and Racing Point as being the teams who will get both of their drivers into Q3.
Now, I asked you a question at the start of this qualifying session. Can you now give me your top 3 you reckon it'll be in the Q3?
Yeah. I think Beard Boost is going to take the top spot. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say Keen Joffrey will be second, and I'm going to say Dedger is going to be third. Just because Joffrey and Dedger were on the soft tire compounds, I don't think you can count them out. They're both very, very capable drivers. I think those two will be fighting with Beard Boost, but I've watched Beard Boost before. I think Beard Boost is strong enough that he will easily take pole position. That's my guess.
I'm guessing it's going to be a double racing point 1-2. Not sign one particular order. It's going to be Jeffrey or Flying Wallaby, as they're both quite quick. But I reckon Dedger may be in the top 3.
Well, we agree on 2 of the top 3 positions. The question really is going to be, will it be Beard Boost or will it be Wallaby who will round out the top 3? And then again, for all we know, we could be wrong altogether. That would be an interesting scenario.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
Joffrey is the first driver. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it just seems to be only the Reynolds that are sticking to the pits so far. Every driver's out in a minute.
Yeah, King Joffrey was the first guy to get onto the track this time around. Everyone's going to be running softs this section, this qualifying session. Why do I keep screwing up sector and session? Everyone's going to be running softs I do it right there. Everyone's going to be running softs this session. No need to worry about running a slower tire. You're already locked into strategy. Just go for the bloody fastest laps you can right now. I'm going to ride on board here with Kelly for this lap. Just be quiet to hear what's like running here at Hungray. A lot of invalid laps for a while there, but Del Pelli goes to the top 114.350. That will be the benchmark that everyone needs to start focusing on and eventually beating. But I think you're going to be right, Irby. I think 113 is absolutely within the realm of possibility at the end of Q3 here.
It's going to be, I believe that. I reckon Beard Boost is going in to get the 113. And I believe it could be a low 113. I reckon it's going to
We'll see. Here comes King Joffrey coming out of that final corner. DRS open at the line. Joffrey third right now in the time sheets, 115.432. That's actually a tie with Ryan Hurricane's time thus far, although I imagine one of them will eventually break the tie before a session ends. Uter at the line. He will go up to second on the time sheets, 114.626. Starfish and Jono have yet to get going. Jono has actually set a lap time now, 115.264. Starfish will be the next driver to set a first time. Beard Boost, CJ Allen, and Flying Wallaby already are beginning their out laps.
You've got Starfish now coming to sector 3, finish through sector 3 now.
His teammate Jono in the other Renault has a 1:15.264. Can Starfish match or beat that in his own Renault? Rounding the final corner, nice and straight exit is ideal. Not as straight as typical, but at the line, it's better than Jono. 1:15.234. Only 0.03 of a second difference between the two of them. And Flying Wallaby invalidates his first lap. I mean, it's an out lap, so it doesn't really matter. Beard Boost is now beginning his lap. Flying Wallaby is now beginning his lap. And CJ Allen is entering the last few corners as well, so he will begin his flying lap shortly as well.
Beard Boost has got a purple sector 1. Finished sector 2 now.
It's going to be where it all comes down to. With the chicane. Ooh, real squirrely in the rear end.
It's very twitchy there. It may not have affected him. I believe he may be still in the purple sector. Yep, purple sector in sector 2.
Yep, the same purple sector 2. Coming out of the final corner, will Beard Boost be able to go to the top? He's potentially has a 1:13 in him. CJ Allen has wrecked out of the session.
No way.
Beard Boost second, but CJ Allen has crashed out there in sector 2. We can't get a camera on him, but it looks like he's crashed out a little bit past the chicane, and that means CJ Allen's going to drop all the way to the back end of the field. He will start 10th if they can get that car repaired in time. Flying Wallaby and Joffrey now have caught each other on the track.
The next guy to see it will be Beard Boost. If you want to look at it, if it's still there. It's gone clear. From clear.
Yeah. CJ Allen's going to be kicking himself over that for sure. Beard Boost has invalidated his lap. So now it goes to King Joffrey, who's on an out lap, and Flying Wallaby, who is getting the tow from Joffrey. So Flying Wallaby might get a little bit of a tow from King Joffrey here, and that might be enough to get him into the top 3 in times, but he needs to be close enough to Joffrey to be able to get that tow. But also, you don't want to be so close that Joffrey ends up sacrificing your ability to take that final corner as well.
Exactly.
I don't know if they're going to be close enough. Wallaby is abandoned. Wallaby has jumped into the pits.
Hold it.
So Joffrey now begins his next flying lap. Uter and Deadger are on their own out laps. The gap between the top and the bottom is about 1.1 seconds in time. Well, not counting CJ Allen, obviously. Wise Uter now begins his lap. About 3¼ minutes left in the session. Still a little bit of timeout on the table. Of note, Joe Pelly, who is now beginning his migration back onto the track, currently has the fastest time on the board with a 1:14.350. Joffrey twitches a bit going through the chicane there in sector 2, but he's able to keep the car under him. He's still pushing.
Oh, there goes his invite. Oh no, an out lap anyway, it's fine.
Actually ran down Deadger just a little bit on that circuit as Deadger was warming up his tires to get underway. But at the line, Joffrey, does he improve? Yes, he does.
Wow.
1:14.881. So a significant improvement on his part with a good purple sector 3 there. So now the question is, here's Wise Uter going through the second to last corner, coming down to the last corner now. Will Uter be able to improve? He's only 4 thousandths out from second, but closer about 25 hundredths out, 25 tenths, and 25 hundredths out from first. Uter does not improve, though, at the line. Deadger has invalidated his current lap. Joffrey's still out there. He's still pushing. Flying Wallaby is now exiting the pits. I think he'll have just enough time to set one good flying lap. If he's lucky, he might be able to get two, but I think realistically he's only going to have one good flying lap. Elfin Starfish, he's on an out lap, as is XRL Dono. They should have enough time to get one flying lap here.
They're all out now, aren't they? They're all out trying to get the last laps in.
Yeah. The only one who's not, by the looks of it, is CJ Allen, obviously, who wrecked out the session. Everyone otherwise... Whoa, Dedgar also is in the pits. Dedgar seems to be relatively confident, although he's invalidated several laps in a row. He's in the pits, as is King Joffrey. So Dedgar and Joffrey are both satisfied. They'll not push any harder. So 4th and 5th is the best they'll do as Joffrey retires from the session. Beard Boost has crossed the line as he is now trying to improve on his time once more. Here comes Wise Uter out of the final corner. Coming to at the line. 7 seconds off. So that was obviously a cooldown lap. He's going full balls to the wall this time. And Del Pelli at the line. He improved. Del Pelli 114.271. But no one has hit that famed 113 mark yet.
See what Flying Wallaby can do.
Oh, and that's Hurricane. Hurricane is off track there at the exit of turn 1. So yeah, no chance for Hurricane to improve. Something has gone wrong. I don't see any damage on that car, but I think he's looped it in the first corner. Took him off the racing lines and validated any chance for him to improve. Time is up in the sector. Beard Boost coming down Uter is also pulled off there in sector 2. Beard Boost coming down out of the final corner. Will he break that 113 barrier? Yes, he does, just barely. 113.998.
Oh, wow.
Jono is going to be the next driver across the line here. Going through sector 3. It said he was about 200ths down. Will he be able to improve? He needs to pick up about 300ths if he wants to beat his teammate Elfin Starfish. Coming out of that final corner. Jono at the line. 115.137. Boy, does he improve. Elfin Starfish is invalidated his lap. Here comes Flying Wallaby. He's 8th on the timesheets right now. What will he do? Will he be able to improve as well? Coming to the line. Boom! Third! 114.523. Here comes Hurricane has abandoned his lap. Uter has abandoned his lap. And that means that the session is over. So your pole setter, you called it. Granted, you thought it would be a little bit lower, but you did call it. That Beard Boost had a 113 in him. I don't think either of us, neither of us anticipated Joe Pelli to be in the top 3, so thumbs up to Joe Pelli.
Yeah, well done.
And good job on Flying Wallaby also for taking home 3rd as well.
Hopefully it goes out.
I think the safety car automatically goes out anytime the session ends. Because it happened, I noticed it happened on quality too also. So your top 10, Beard Boost in the McLaren, Joe Pelli in the Haas, Flying Wallaby in the Racing Point, Uter in the Tari, Dedgar in the Ferrari, Ryan Hurricane in the Alfa Romeo, Joffrey in the Racing Point, Jono and Starfish in the Renaults, and Allen in the Alfa Romeo. Unique situation with the Renaults. It seems like those two times have been right on top of each other pretty much most of the day long. So really interested to see two drivers on the same team being so evenly matched in pace.
They do seem to be very quite close on pace, don't they? They don't seem to be pulling away from each other at all. Just to give you a heads up, Zola has commented saying that they are going at 2100 hours UK time.
Alright, so at the top of the hour, so we can anticipate them going green about right at the top of the hour, about 4.5 minutes, maybe a little longer depending on if there ends up being any hiccups or issues. Next 3, we had a significant issue where it took forever to get the lobby set up. And then the start itself was just completely botched due to the mix-up. Drivers jumping to start and drivers getting disconnected. That was just an absolute mess, and we had to wait like another 10 minutes just to get it going again. X3 ran extremely late because of that. It was a good race, but man, it was a lot of time where Ozza and I were kind of shooting the breeze because a lot of stuff went wrong.
It must have been about 20 minutes late. It must have been about 20 minutes late.
Yeah. And the crazy thing was also that, like, we were actually ahead. We had actually completed our qualifying sessions, like, really, really quickly as well.
Yeah,
It's just, we lost so much time there. But no such fate has befallen X2, hopefully. I'm crossing my fingers for that, so...
Hopefully nothing happens on turn 1 either with the very good drivers here. They're very clean, so hopefully turn 1 won't be an issue at all for them.
Personally, I'm not as much worried as turn 1 as it will be about turns 3 through 7. Those are all very technical, difficult corners, and it can be very tempting to see an open lane, and try to throw your car up in there and make something stick, and end up involving yourself or someone else in an instant in the process.
Yeah,
so.
of course. Right, I'll be back in just a sec. I'm just going to get a drink.
Yep, go for it. We should be underway in about minute and a half here. So real quickly, I'll just go ahead and run through the field with their tire compounds of choice. XRL, I understand, will be starting 20th. On the hard tire compounds, Hutt in the Mercedes will be starting 19th. Also on the hards, Smoothie, 25 in the Williams, hards. Zola in the Red Bull, hards. Then you have 3 drivers on medium tire compounds. BRL Phantom in the Haas, XRLO in the Williams, Davis down in the Mercedes. 13th, Kinzak and the AlphaTauri will be starting on the hards. He will be the highest of all the drivers who will be starting on the hard tire compounds. Then you have 5 drivers in a row, all running on mediums. Mr. Schmid in the Ferrari, XR Alpine Red Bull, CJ Allen, Alfa Romeo, the 2 Renaults of Elfin Starfish and XRL Dono. King Joffrey will be starting 7th on the soft tire compounds, one of only 2 drivers who are starting on the softs. And then ahead of him directly is Ryan Hurricane, the Alfa Romeo on the mediums. Dedger is going to be the highest of the drivers starting on the softs. He will be in that Ferrari starting from the 5th position. Second row will be Wise Uter 85 in the AlphaTauri and the Racing Point of Flying Wallaby. And the front row will be Haas versus McLaren, Joe Pelli versus Beard Boost. It will be a very, very interesting time. A little bit of a mistake there. I imagine we should be getting underway sooner rather than later here.
I am back.
Welcome back. So yeah, I will say this real quickly. So typically I will, at the very start, like the first, 2/3 of a lap, I'll try to catch the very lead, and then I'll immediately jump to the back of the field. So if you can kind of keep an eye on the front, that would be great.
Yeah,
I should have said that before the broadcast started, but I kind of forgot about that. Then typically after the first lap is over, that's when I kind of just start looking anywhere and everywhere on the circuit. So
no, that's fine. I'll stick on the top guys at the front. We'll try and keep an eye on any changes throughout the field. Oh, the race
as we now have
in 20 seconds.
Drivers are now beginning to ready up. As you can see, those little white check marks forming. And again, no pace laps anymore in the XRL divisions. Is just start immediately on cold tires. That can make sort of some very, very interesting and chaotic race starts. And it's lights out, and away we go here at the Hungary. You can see him 3-4 wide with the Mercedes. What in the world was that? Joe Pelli got taken out. Joe Pelly, who started second, has been shaken out by James John, who just completely botched the initial start of the race.
Oh
James
my
John has led the
God.
session now.
I'm speechless.
What in the world?
You could see him coming from a distance, just flying at full pace.
And Joe Pelly had absolutely nowhere to go. James John, he didn't even like stay straight on the circuit. The car veered to the right, cut right through the grass, and nailed our outside pole setter.
Oh, he's got a block. This is going to be a really good investigation about this. That is
But
unbelievable.
one thing for sure, this basically means that Beard Boost may have locked up the win by default. If he can get away from Flying Wallaby, it says Joe Pelly has left the session as well. If Beard Boost can get away from Flying Wallaby, his strongest competitor on the track may have just been knocked out, and Beard Boost may have already wrapped up this win. Not saying that will happen, but I'm saying that is a possibility, as we are back under green already here at the Hungray. Wise Uter and Kinzak neck and neck for the 9th and 10th positions. Uter has those medium tire compounds, so he'll have a little bit better time going through turn 1. Around the outside, they make just a bit of contact. And Allen gets ahead of Uter. Kinzak falls behind Uter.
That's 2 seconds ahead of Flying Wallaby. Oh, there's no sixes.
Yep, that's a multi-caller incident back there. Hush, Zola, Phantom, all caught up in an instant there, coming out of turn number 3. And there's damage to the front wing of all 3 of those cars, actually. I'm not really sure what happened there. Didn't get to see it, sadly. I was focused more on a midfield battle, alas. We are back under a vertical safety car again. Anderson, Schmee, and Lowe all on top of each other pretty much. So depending on where they go green, there might be a little bit of fighting that takes place there. And we are back underway. Yeah, hopefully the game will be able to keep him properly in place. No, he doesn't. Hurricane immediately loses position. Now Starfish and Dedger are at their own little fight for 3rd and 4th position. Starfish the highest of the Renaults right now, Dedger highest of the Ferraris. Both of them want to try and run down the racing point of Flying Wallaby farther up. Meanwhile, farther back, Anderson has caught Schmee and Schmee has caught Lowe. Hutch and Zola in their own little fight for 16th and 17th as well.
Zola's got actual big time right side.
So does Hutch. Phantom's making a pit stop to repair his wing damage.
Oh, how last right there. Changed.
Joff, Allen, and Fiend make contact. Allen gets run off the circuit, gonna come right back across the track, nearly hits Joffrey in the process. Uter, Kinzak, and Yono are all there, ready to pounce if something goes wrong up here. They don't want to be too close because they'll get caught up if something goes wrong. Hurricane has been taken over by the AI, I believe, and he gets run into the back of by Fiend, and that's going to damage Fiend's car, and now here comes the other Alfa Romeo, but that other Alfa Romeo, C. Allen's going to keep the Red Bull cramped on the outside. The Red Bull can't do anything. Here comes King Joffrey. Here comes Wise Uter. Joffrey's going to be looking on the inside of Fiend as Allen is fighting the Hurricane. They're going to be 2x2 going into turn number 1. What's going to happen? Uter looks to the outside, trying to get some clean air on that front wing. Power down. Hurricane has now slipped to 6th position. Joffrey trying to make something happen on Fiend. And going into turn number 2, Hurricane and Fiend now side by side. Joffrey's going to try and follow Fiend. Going to turn number 3, Hurricane comes out, cuts them off. Joffrey gets into the dirt. Joffrey's going to go wide. Joffrey is side by side with Hurricane. He's still side by side. He ends up in the dirt, and he's going to lose position significantly. He's going to fall all the way back to 12th. Now Hurricane is 7th, and he's going to have now Lowe and Yono are fighting side back there. Yono's actually going to lose the position of Lowe, and here comes Schmee. Schmee is going to come up. He wants that 10th position. Wise Uter makes contact with Hurricane up there, the car twitches, and now Lowe is gonna get by him. Yoder's car twitches again, now Jono gets by. And we can see Shmee coming. Here comes Shmee on the inside, going into that third to last corner, neck and neck, but they don't make any contact, at least not yet. A little bit of contact there, and Hurricane goes off into the wall. He's gonna fall all the way down to the 12th position with some well, no, there's no damage. It looks like the AI just completely bungled the corner.
Wow.
But he went off at an angle where it looked like he damaged the front clean. But the Hurricane gained disconnected right up. Oh, I'm sorry. Way too much talking.
It's all gone. I'm just trying to get one in.
Hurricane gained disconnected and the AI taking over ended up throwing a wrench in the midfield. He is now fallen out of the top 10, but a lot of crazy stuff happened as the drivers tried to get by him on a very tight and narrow track. And now something has happened to Kenzak. Not Kenzak, who is that?
He's just stopped on turn 1.
Yeah, way off circuit as well. I'm not sure what's going on there.
He's not there at all, he's not responding to anything. Oh, he's coming now.
He's moving a bit now. No significant damage on the car.
I bet his controller died. Unfortunate.
Well, I'm sure he's got to feel a little bit lucky considering that the car is not terribly damaged, but it's definitely not going to be a good thing. Dedger now has a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He is on the Satar compounds trying to make something happen, and of note, CJ Allen, fastest lap time in the Alfa Romeo, a little bit farther back in the 5th position. Also of note, XRL Fiend, of the drivers who started on the hard tire compounds, he is the highest up of them all. He is 6th on the timesheets right now, and I believe that is Wise Uter, who has just gone off in turn 5. Yes, it is.
It sure is.
And he's going to have their leader, Beard Boost, coming up on him very shortly as well.
I just hope he doesn't get in his way and actually take him out. Or else the top 2 that's gone. Something's happening with him because he's all over the shop.
He pulls off the track completely there to enable the leaders to get by. Dedger has caught Elfin Starfish. Now, those softs aren't going to last for a whole lot longer. So on the X3 race, can only go about 7 to 9 laps on the softs and really only be competitive for about 6 to 7 laps on them. So he needs to make a move on Starfish and get by him, get some clean air on that car sooner rather than later. But Starfish is putting up a very respectable defense, though, to be quite honest. A little bit farther back in the field, Hutch and Phantom, 2 drivers involved in an instance early on, have caught each other in a little bit of a battle for 15th and 16th. Now Hutch makes a little bit of a mistake there, exiting 5. Both of them are trying to run down Anderson. Anderson has fresh mediums. Hutch has somewhat fresh mediums, only 1 lap on them, and Phantom a little bit less so. Fiend was going to lose 7th position to Jono. Well, I should say Fiend made a move on Jono on the straight, and then Jono was able to push off. Also yes, and also Joffrey spins around. He's totaled the car. Joffrey was chasing Shmee and then going through turn 3, oversteered right into the inside wall and completely ruined the front of that car. That's going to bring out a full course yellow virtual safety flag. Did not. If someone told me that we'd see more DNFs in the X2 race than the X3 race, I would have laughed at them. But we're on track for that right now.
There's been some crazy action so far. We're only, 7 laps in?
The big thing, though, is that Beard Boost this entire time, because all these have been virtual safety cars, not full course yellows, Beard Boost has been gradually pulling away from the field, and there's really been no chance for drivers to be closing in on him. So Beard Boost in a very, very good position. Also of note, Dedger has gone ahead and jumped into the pits under this virtual safety car. He will get off those softs and will put on those white, hard sidewalls for the rest of this race, or at least the majority of this race. He might jump back on the softs for the very end. It would be very interesting if you could run 27 laps on hards, but we saw drivers in X3 and yesterday in the Dev League running well over 20 laps on the hards anyway, so yeah, it might be within the realm of possibility.
I was speaking to about when he was in the X3 race. He said he got 26 laps out of mediums.
Yeah, you can definitely do a little bit of playing with the mediums and the hards here. Softs really are only going to be good if you want to go for fastest lap time. The pace advantage single lap with softs are so far and above here that it really, really makes some, not necessarily interesting, but it makes for some good hardcore time attack modes, basically,
Yeah.
if you are going on the softs.
She's now gaining towards Sparta. He's 3 tenths behind it.
Also of note, Dedger has catching Shmee. I'm sorry, Shmee is catching Low. Low is catching Fiend, and Starfish and Allen are side by side for the 3rd position. Meanwhile, completely missed that. Moves CJ Allen into the 3rd spot for the moment.
Watching Starfish now, he looks like he's not having any of it. Trying to get back onto him now.
Don't be too aggressive here through turn 5. He runs nice and wide, keeps the car in control. Kinzak, 3-second time penalty, but he's already back there with Davis John. A minute and 10 seconds off the leader. I don't think that's going to directly contribute to anything in the race. But of note is that 16th and 17th are actually in their own little battle. So,
Coach is on the outside of on turn 1.
All gonna come down to who can put the power down and will DRS be open.
Here we go.
He's got the DRS, he's looking to the inside. I got really tight there, but in the end, Phantom's able to hold off Hutch.
Oh, Starfish just gained it past Allen again.
CJ Allen has gone around there. CJ Allen has gone around the second to last corner. He's gonna drop a bunch of time relative to Starfish. That actually means that Jono may have a chance of catching him. Also, here's another potential battle. Shmee, Low, and Fiend all on top of each other. With Low and Shmee having DRS, nothing quite yet going through turn number 1. Shmee taking a much, much wider line than the 2 cars ahead of him. Oh, and there goes Jono! Jono spins the car, puts the power down way too aggressively, coming out. Oh, he's right! He turned right into Dedger! He turned right across the track into Dedger! There is no doubt about that he turned right into Dedger, and then we saw Hurricane get involved in that also!
Oh,
and that's another virtual safety car!
Wow.
What in the world?
What was going in his head to go into Dedger there? Crazy. Oh, John is not to be happy with that.
It wasn't like he was sliding and trying to turn into a slide or anything. He was, at least from the camera angle I had, it looked like the car was relatively straight, and then he yanked it. I wonder if he thought Dedger was going to come across him on the other side, but...
I have no idea.
Oh,
But that's now Mr. Hurricane and Dedger both wing damage. They'll both be split. They'll both be pitted in this lap.
And for Beard Boost, he's got to be a little bit frustrated now. As we go green again, he's like, come on, I just want to open up a nice steady gap so we can get a free pit stop. Every time he starts to really start pulling away, something happens that puts the field under a virtual safety car. But he's got about 6.7 seconds on Flying Wallaby now. He might be able, if we stay green long enough, he might be able to open up enough gap that he can get a free pit stop. I honestly think that's probably the strategy he has. And it goes from bad to worse for that Ferrari team. So it moves Zola now up into the 9th position. He's running on hards that he started the race on. In fact, everyone in the top 9 are still on the same tire compound that they started their race on. Also of note, Low and Fiend are relatively close to each other. Shmee has dropped off just a little bit, but Low and Fiend are really going to have kind of a protracted battle. As I was saying, good job catching it. As I was saying, Low and Fiend are both on hard tire compounds. They're going to have a protracted battle between the two of them. probably for the majority of the race. I imagine they're probably going to end up on the exact same tire strategy as well. Schmee, who's behind them, is on mediums. 10 lap more mediums, though. Honestly, his chance to get out in front of these two and get some clean air on those tires to extend the medium's abilities is kind of fading away. Schmee, it's going to come down to just salvaging the strategy that has gradually gone away from him. Dedger, Hurricane, Phantom, and Hush are all pretty close to each other. Kenzak has gone around Sector 2.
Oh, contact!
And here comes the leader, Beard Boost.
Contact to turn 2.
And that's one of the red cars. I think that's Ferrari. Yes, that's Schmee. Schmee has gone off in turn 2. He's back underway. No significant damage. But it's going to drop. He's dropped a lot of time. He's in 7th still, but he lost a lot of time to Fiend and Low ahead of him. Meanwhile, there's another battle going on. Hurricane, Phantom, Dedger, all in a little bit of a fight, nearly 3 wide at the apex of 1. Now it looks like everyone's going to get by Phantom. Phantom has no DRS. Here comes that Ferrari to the inside. They're going to make contact going to turn number 2. It's going to come down to who has the better power application. Phantom, Dedger, still neck and neck. They're still neck and neck as they go into turn 4. They're still neck and neck as they're running down to turn 5. Phantom finally pulls out of it as Dedger moves up into 13th position.
He did not that bit of a hard wasn't when he contact on that corner.
Hurricane has pretty much caught Hush. Will Hurricane be able to do anything to Hush before Dedger does something to him? Dedger is on the mediums, which are much faster than Hurricane's hards, and both of them are running down Hush, who has 7 lap mediums. Those tires are going to go away fast. Here comes Hurricane. He's all over the back of Hush. This could get really interesting when they get onto the straightaway. There's going to be a lot of DRS training going on.
Oh, don't put it there, surely not.
Out of that final corner, DRS opens for Hurricane. DRS opens for... No, DRS did not open for Dedger, but it's open for Hurricane. Hurricane's going to breeze by Hush. Hush's not taking it that easily, though. He's going to come back across. He cuts right in front of Dedger. Dedger's not going to be happy about that. Dedger has DRS compared to Hush. He's going to dive to the inside. They barely make a bit of contact. Hush's going to try and fight back. There's no room to make it stick. Dedger and Hurricane both get by Hush.
That's some great attacking and a bit of defense there from both guys.
Now the question is, what will BRL Phantom be able to do in relation to Hush? Phantom has hard tires, Hush has mediums, so Phantom will be able to stick a lot longer on his tire compounds.
Loaded up the RS on Fiend, gaining some ground on him. Turn 1.
Fiend taking a wider line going through turn 1, trying to be a little bit more careful applying the throttle. Again, low DRS on the zone run down to turn 2, but not close enough to really make anything stick yet.
That fight is still going on with Dedger. Dedger got the back end of Austin.
Dedger is right there on Hurricane, coming onto the back straightaway. Ferrari trying to make something happen. He's got the DRS open. I don't know if he does or not. That Alpha seems to be really trimmed out. Nope, he made it work, but now, crossover. Hurricane's got the crossover. Dedger still has DRS, but it doesn't matter. Hurricane got the crossover. Very, very solid defense by Hurricane, utilizing the crossover. Fiend, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Starfish will be the first of our top 9 drivers to go ahead and jump into the pits. He's on the medium tire compounds. And we can expect then Schmee, Allen, Wallaby, and Beard Boost to probably follow sooner rather than later. And they would probably jump onto mediums and run the rest of the race on the medium tire compounds.
Lowe's got the DRS now on Fiend. He's coming up to now to turn 1. He's clearly got past him. Oh, he's gone wide. He's locked up and gone wide. Fiend's come back on the inside.
And Fiend's going to maintain his spot. Dedger is still right there on the back of Hurricane. Dedger needs to make something happen sooner rather than later as he nearly runs into the back of Hurricane since in really deep there. He's taking much straighter lines on entrance. Dedger, medium tire compounds. This is his chance again. He's going to have DRS again as they go down the straight. CJ Allen, 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit violations. Again, Dedger, he's got the DRS, but Hurricane seems to really have that car trimmed out for straight line speed. So even with the DRS, that Ferrari is not able to gain a lot of time on Hurricane, at least not enough to make a move stick and happen.
I was running on board with him, and you can see that he's not gaining any ground at all on these straights.
Flying Wallaby, CJ Allen swap positions by virtue of Flying Wallaby going ahead and dumping into the pits. We can anticipate CJ Allen, who's not had a purple prior lap, so good job on Allen, fast lap there. We can expect CJ Allen to probably pit relatively soon, and when he does, then that means that will probably be Beard Boost, who will stay a little bit longer out there before pitting. Beard Boost, the gap between himself and the first driver to a pit, Flying Wallaby, 28.828 seconds. Beard Boost basically has not quite a free pit stop, pretty darn close to it. He's got about half of a free pit stop, and that in itself would be more than enough for him to maintain his position, assuming no four-course yellows come out and force a actual safety car. Not virtual, but actual safety car.
There just got DRS again. He still hang on the pace on the pitch straight.
He's looking to the inside. Will he try and send it? No, he will not. He's right there, still under that Alfa Romeo. He's not losing time in the corners, that's for sure. Partially because I think that Ferrari is very well set up for the corners. It just doesn't matter because Hurricane is set up well enough for the straights that even though Dedger is right under Hurricane, there's nowhere that Hurricane's making a mistake enough at for Dedger to capitalize in the back in the majority of the track. The only place you can make a traditional overtake is going to be the front straight. But that car, the Alfa Romeo, is so heavily set up for straightaway speed that Dedger can't do anything. And while these two keep fighting, they're both going to keep losing time to the drivers ahead of them as well. CJ Allen has finally gone ahead and made his stop.
Mr. Fish now took over Mr. Schmid. He's done it on DRS.
Schmid, 16-lap old mediums. They're quickly going away on him. He might want to consider jumping onto the medium sooner rather than later. Flying Wallaby and low, having a little bit of fight for a third position. Williams, Williams powered by Mercedes versus Racing Point powered by Mercedes. Oh no, and Low got into it with Flying Wallaby, and the car is destroyed there. The Kappa coming out of turn number 4, and that car is destroyed, and that's a full course yellow, full course safety car. And for Beard Boost, he has enough of a gap. He's going to take a free pit stop.
Wow. I think we got it pretty clean on turn 5, but Jesus, the take that spot on turn 5, turn 4. But really, take that into turn 5.
And that also means that the battle between Hurricane and Dedger will now go from a fight for 11th to a fight for a potential point into 10th place position as well. It's going to take a while for the field to properly gather up. Beard Boost is just now caught. Yeah, Beard Boost, everything has fallen perfectly for him. His biggest rival on track, Joe Pelli, gets wrecked on the very first lap in the very first corner by someone just dive bombing him from 19th. And then Beard Boost opens up a really, really large gap and gets a free pit stop when the safety car does come out. It's almost too perfect. I'm not. I want to make that very clear. I'm joking when I'm saying that. I am absolutely not saying there is manipulation going on. I want to make that very clear. I am not saying that. I was making that as a joke, okay? I want to make sure all my bases are covered there. Anderson and Zola have gone ahead and decided to make their pit stops as they will jump onto medium tire compounds, likely for the rest of the race. Also of note, Davis John, the driver who ended up hitting and knocking Joe Pelli out of the race. 6 laps not as hard as he is still a lap down compared to everyone else, though. And I do not imagine he will get a chance to get back on the lead lap either. So halfway through our X2 race here at Hungary, and you know, I signed up for this. I didn't expect this race to be this chaotic. This is really, really nutty. If anyone put money down on any of the things happening here, please tell me, because I want to know how much money you win at a casino putting down crazy ideas when they actually happen in the race.
I know one thing, I wouldn't be putting money on this race, it's just that chaotic, you don't know what's going to happen next.
Also, this will be a huge boost for both Phantom and Kenzak. The two of them were at risk of eventually going a lap down. Now Phantom and Kenzak will both be able to catch up to the back of the field, might even be able to make up a few extra positions assuming they avoid incidents. So it's going to get very, very positive for them. What if things really go crazy up ahead? One of those two, Phantom or Kenzak, might be able to take home points. Also of note, everyone is now on 7-lap-old tires or fresher, so I imagine outside of Dedger will probably have to jump onto softs at the very end of the race. But outside Dedger, I think everyone is on the tire compound that they will finish this race out on.
I think this safety car will be put in this lap.
I think Davis John is still disconnected. I still think the AI is driving that car, actually. I think Davis John has been disconnected. I don't know if he was disconnected, and CJ Allen has gone around, and now Shmi has run into the back of Davis John. What in the world?
See, I told you not to put him in the race.
This just goes from sublime to ridiculous.
Hurricanes just super fast, apparently.
Got corner cutting, gained 1 place. The thing is, you can't penalize him for that though, because his corner cutting was to avoid CJ Allen.
I'm sure that'll get reviewed.
What? Yeah, I'd hope that will get reviewed and potentially removed. Christ.
That's Mr. Shmi coming in for the pits.
And yeah, Davis John. So Davis John's car still is not connected properly. Davis John, when CJ Allen spun in Sector 2, Davis John's AI came to a dead stop right in the middle of the track, caused a stack up, and then Hurricane and Shmi had to go. Shmi ran to the back of him, if I remember correctly, and then Hurricane had to cut the course to avoid them. So, oh, wow.
This is going to go well because Davis John is actually in the queue of position 5th in the queue. So he's got all that to come past him.
I imagine we'll go green this lap because Mr. Shmi, thankfully it happened under full course safety car yellow, so he's not going to go a lap down. He'll be able to catch up to the back of the field, but so yeah, and I think everyone's going to be gathered up and we'll be able to go green this lap, more than likely.
Mr. Boddington is just commented saying that will get removed.
Okay. Alright, yeah. Thank God. Alright. I get way too invested when bullcrap happens from a game like that, so...
No, it's understandable.
Sorry. Yeah. Safety car in this lap, officially from race control.
Let's see how Mr. Beer Boost is going to do on this lap here. He's going to hold him back to the last corner, or is he going to go full out?
Flying Wallaby's right behind him. This is Wallaby's second and possibly final serious chance to catch Beard Boost. Will he be able to do anything to him? Also, Elfin Starfish might be able to make something happen. Here we are. Beard Boost is going. Nah, Beard Boost very, very good at the start. In fact, Starfish actually seemed to get a better run than Wallaby. Starfish might be able to try and attempt to move going into turn number 1. He looks to the inside. No room yet, but he's there. He wants to make it happen.
Davis John. Oh, Davis John, what are you doing?
That's not him. That's not the driver. That's the AI. the driver has not been connected basically since the incident at turn 1. It's just been the AI driving that car since. Hurricane gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple track violations now. Thankfully, Davis Kahn is now out of contention of track position, so he shouldn't affect the race for a little while at least. Starfish following Flying Wallaby now, and he's got XRL Fiend behind him. A little bit farther back, Dedger and Hurricane continuing their own little spat. Now it's for a lot of points. That's about for 6th and 7th position now. But for Dedger, he's going to have to make a lot of positions fast. He's on medium tire compounds, and they already have 9 laps on them. There's 14 more laps in this race. I think he's going to have to pit again and jump on the sauce. He needs to get a lot of positions, put a lot of time between himself now if he wants to even maintain earning points towards the end of the event.
Just watching between Anderson and Dedger. Anderson seems to be lose time on Dedger at the minute. Taking out Dedger from the back of the Hurricane.
Not really a practical passing zone here in turns 4 and 5. In fact, the next practical passing zone doesn't really come. Unless you want to be really aggressive in the chicane, it doesn't really come until that real short straight in sector 3. And even then, you have to be like picture perfect. The driver ahead needs to make a significant mistake. Beard Boost already 2.3 seconds out from the leader, from second, with Elf and Starfish trying to run down Wallaby and XRL Fiend running down Starfish. Fiend might be able to get DRS on the straight here and just walk by Starfish. Beard Boost fastest lap on the hard, 118.103.
He's over
That's comparable to...
He's got him on the inside now. He's put on the inside of turn 1.
He's still there. Puts 2 tires on the grass on the inside. They're still neck and neck. He falls back in line behind. No, he's coming back. He's fighting back. Is he gonna get him? He does. He gets him going to turn number 1. Drops Starfish to 4th now as XRL Fiend in the Red Bull goes up into the 3rd position. Both of the Red Bulls at the moment in points-paying positions. XRL Hutch, 3-second time penalties. For instance, with him and CJ Allen, I imagine, as Allen has now gotten ahead of Hutch. Mr. Schmee, Kenzak, Phantom, and Hutch are all kind of close to each other, and then even there in Hutch, although Allen's starting to get away from him, Hutch was fighting with Allen, so there's a little bit of a fight for the positions that are not points paying as well at the moment. But meanwhile, Anderson, Hurricane, Dedger all continue to have their own little spat. Dedger has actually lost the position to Anderson. Anderson has fresher medium tire compounds. Dedger is falling away and dying. This race is not going in Dedger's favor at all, that's for sure. DRS going down the straight, but same problem that Dedger had. Hurricane's car is just so heavily trimmed out for the straights, it means that he's basically got the perfect car for defense. Anderson looks to the inside. Oh, he might be able to get him. No, he does not. Yes, he does. They're still side by side. They're still side by side. So you gotta do the rundown. Nope, he got ahead. Anderson is now ahead of Hurricane. Yeah, in X3 we had 2 drivers do that, and it ended up with one of them getting turned on the running side by side down to turn 4. So, yeah, it didn't happen here. Good job, guys. So now it's Hurricane having to hold off Dedger again. The same battle we've seen for a significant portion of the race. Looks like it's going to happen again. Schmee has gotten by Kenzak, though, for a 13th and 14th position. Hurricane, 3-second time penalty now. CJ Allen and Zola have also both caught Dedger as well. So a little bit of a 4-car trolley train forming behind Hurricane here. DRS opens. again, no one's able to do anything to Hurricane. And that lap, Hurricane was actually just close enough to Anderson. They actually had the DRS from Anderson's car still. This is going to get very, very aggravating. Oh, Zola making a move on Dedger. Ooh, that got tight.
The flight from 62.
That's Starfish. Starfish has gone off.
Oh my god. That's Starfish and Anderson both.
Yeah, Anderson also went off.
Well, that's Starfish losing top 3.
That's Starfish losing points. He's all the way down to 12th now. And again, outside of Dedger, I think it's raining. It's raining!
Yep,
it's raining! The track is wettening up. Again, I don't know if that's a term or not, but I've used it so many times now. The track is wettening up.
It's going to race completely on its head now.
Yeah, now the question is, do you jump in and swap to intermediate tires? And if you do, when do you do it? Right now, the track's still relatively dry, but it's not going to stay that way for too much longer. But if it doesn't get too wet, and you go ahead and you throw on the intermediates, then you end up starting to hemorrhage time. So right now, I'll say this: Dedger is in the catbird seat because he's basically in a position where he already has to pit. So if he can just keep the car on track, he'll be in a catbird seat. Allen and Anderson, intermediates.
The first two swabbing. I think that was too
that
early.
track is getting wet fast.
I think that's too early.
I think another lap might be ideal, but again, we don't know how fast it's going to be. Wallaby's already slipping and sliding there.
Let's see what the lead is going to do. See who's going to go into pit. It's going around quite slowly. It is going to pit now.
Yeah, here comes Beard Boost. He's coming into the pits. Flying Wallaby, will he be pitting? He's pitting. Fiend is pitting as well. What about Smoothie 25? Is he going to pit? No. Smoothie is going to stay on another lap. DRS has been disabled. Hurricane pitting. Dedger pitting. Smoothie's actually going to inherit the lead. If the track's not too... Elfin Starfish has dropped out of the session. Starfish's car is completely destroyed there. Way on the outside of turn number 5. I don't see what happened there, but he is gone. Now for Smoothie, here's the interesting thing. If the track's not terribly wet, he might actually gain a lot of time. Yeah, he doesn't have DRS, obviously, but if the track's not too terribly wet, he might actually be able to gain a little bit of time by virtue of having intermediates. No, that car is really, really slight. This is not going to work out well for him. Yeah, that car is too much of a struggle. Same thing with Kenzak. Kenzak's going to head and swap. Davis John's swapping as well, so yeah. Smoothie, it was a risky gamble, but it looks like it was just not the right one. He's probably going to end up losing that top spot to Beard Boost before this lap is over, honestly.
But how crazy is this, though? It's literally, what, half a lap into lap 26. All of a sudden, rain's come. We're coming to 27, and it's absolutely flooding. It's wet.
Yeah, you don't typically anticipate this kind of thing to happen. Fiend and Flying Wallaby are now in their own little battle for third and fourth. Now, here's the other thing. Here comes Beard Boost. Beard Boost will move by Smoothie without too much of an issue. Smoothie just goes off the track. He does not want to influence. It's a reasonable gamble. Like, you make a perfect point. Like, it went from dry to just barely raining to completely soaked instantly. Like, I can't fault Smoothie for making the choice that he did.
I think he still may come out in probably 12, I'd say.
Also, with no DRS, this also means that there are practically no real overtaking zones now on the track, unless you are right on top of another driver, like CJ Allen, Mr. Shmee, and Ryan Hurricane are. Look at that man there. CJ Allen on the outside just walks by Hurricane and Shmee like they're not even there. That was impressive. He overtook both of them with no issue. Wow.
Shmee's on the inside now, a bit straight. Switched over to the outside. He's still ain't got into them. Oh, it's going to his inside now. Has he got it?
Schmee got sideways there coming out of 1.
Yeah, stall.
Also of note, Fiend is still right there behind Wallaby. But again, with no DRS, I really question the ability of that Red Bull to get by the racing point.
I just can't believe how wet it is completely. It's completely soaked.
Dedger has caught Zola for the 4th position as well. So there's 3 potential battles that can all go down here.
This is fantastic for Zola, because Zola was right at the bottom of the field, wasn't he? It was, what,
Yeah.
40, I think it was? He's now in 4th, and he's doing so well. So he's doing well at the minute, but Dedger is really up his rear end at the minute.
Schmee and Hurricane continue their fight. Schmee has finally gotten by Hurricane. The Ferrari is finally by that Alfa Romeo. It's taken a long time. It took the weather to change to happen. But Schmee has finally gotten ahead of Hurricane and moves Schmee into a points-paying position now. Fiend, a 3-second time penalty. Does Wallaby have any time penalties?
That will look here.
Yeah, please.
Wallaby, here we go. Incident. Well,
The reason I ask is because if Wallaby has no time penalties but Fiend does, then that pretty much ends the battle for 2nd before it even begins.
Line Wallaby in a minute, they've got 2 warnings I can see so far. We're down to the bottom of the list now, warning. No penalties so far, it's just warnings to the top.
Well, if Wallaby can keep it up like that, then Wallaby will inherit 2nd by virtue of just not having penalties, even if Fiend gets around him. But as it is right now, Fiend seems to be dropping off the back of Wallaby. Meanwhile, Dedger still there behind Zola, going through the final corner. 6 laps to go.
I know one thing for Zola, Zola's a really good defensive driver. I know that. Oh, sorry, time turn 1 with the Alfa Romeo and Williams.
Allen's gonna sneak by Smoothie there. Smoothie, who pitted late for the intermediates, and CJ Allen, who pitted extremely early for him. It looks like in the end, pitting earlier was better than pitting later. As Allen's right there behind Phantom now.
I was close to the break.
He is right under that rear diffuser of Phantom, literally right under there. It's just pouring rain right now. This honestly is getting to the point where it might end up being a little bit too heavy for the intermediate sooner rather than later if it keeps up pouring like this. Phantom, a little bit of a twitch there, coming out of Sector 2.
CJ Allen's got pace, so to get past him, he's eager to get around him, but he just can't find a gap.
If CJ Allen can nail the exit of the final corner, he might be able to do it on the straight. Nope, Phantom had a better exit than Allen that time. But Allen does have the slipstream. The slipstream's working in his favor, but he's not close enough. He doesn't matter. He's going to make the dive anyway.
Big dive.
They made contact. And now here comes Smoothie back into it. But he is by Phantom. Allen is by Phantom.
That wasn't a big dive there from CJ Allen.
Got a little bit physical there, but move Allen up into the 7th position. Dedger still about 6/10 from behind Zola. Still not able to make anything happen. Also of note, although I don't think it's going to make any significant difference, Beard Boost has actually lost a little bit of time to Flying Wallaby here in the wet. Not enough to make it look like his race lead is under a significant threat, but he is losing a bit of time compared to Flying Wallaby here.
Yeah. Well, this is it, isn't it? There's a lot of drivers now that don't practice a lot in the wet, and obviously, like you can see with Beard Boost, he's losing quite a bit of time for driving in the wet. Obviously, Flying Wallaby must have experience driving in these conditions, and Beard Boost just has probably not got experience as much as what Flying Wallaby has.
Yeah. The battle for fourth position continues to be really hot. Dedger is right there behind Zola. The thing is, the only practical overtaking spot is going into turn 1, but Zola is much, much smoother coming out of the final corner than Dedger has. So it looks like Zola might be able to hold on to that fourth spot. Even if he's slower over a full lap than Dedger, he might be able to hold on just by virtue of being able to defend the only piece of track where you can make a traditional move by any sense.
Thing is, the battle between Zola and Dedger, holding XRL, you're going to have Hutch getting involved in the position fourth position.
Yeah, not just Hutch, Allen will be right there as well. That could make things really interesting. It's still raining very hard, I'm not gonna lie. If it keeps raining like this, I question the ability of the intermediates to properly keep these cars on the track in the final minutes. Also of note, Anderson has caught Mr. Schmee in a battle for 10th position, the final points paying spot on the racetrack.
Let's see if Mr. Anderson can take that position, get some points for the points. Oh, who's that there? Sitting on the, is it Allen?
Hutch and Allen, side by side. Oh, Allen's on the outside. He's going to try and make the outside stick. He's making it stick. They make contact. They're side by side, neck and neck going down the straightaway. Who's going to be? There's a drag race in the wet. Allen gets in front. Hutch is right behind, though. Hutch's going to shoot to the inside going into turn number 1. Allen, will he give him room? He gives him just enough room as is legally required. Allen in front of Hutch for now. Allen really seems to have this car and everything dialed in when he's actually gotten, I think he's one of the only 2 drivers that seem to actually been able to make moves on the track in this wet conditions. If he catches Dedger and Zola, it might be very, very bad for those 2 drivers.
It's a shame really that there isn't enough more laps for Flying Wallaby, because Wallaby now has got Beard Boost within 4.5 seconds.
I'm continuing to watch this battle from 4th to about 7th, depending on how much you want to consider Hutch in it. It might just be 4th through 6th if you want to be kind of honest, as Hutch is dropping off. Zola, slower than Dedger, but a lot better at defense. Dedger, much faster around most of the track, except the one part that you can actually make moves. And then Allen seems to be faster than both of these guys. Although I can't really tell if Allen's faster than Dedger or not, because Dedger is having his times held up by Zola.
I can see DJ Allen taking Dedger on this. It's great.
He's in his draft. He's looking to the inside. He's making it. Will that be enough?
Oh.
It's time to put the power down on the slick track. Yes, he's ahead. He's got him.
Nice, it's where DJ Allen can take Zola to get into 4th position. With 2 laps to go. A lap now.
Wallaby has cut the gap down to 3.5 seconds roughly between him and Beard Boost, but he has the lap traffic of Javis Kahn ahead of him, so even if Wallaby was catching at like a rate of 2 seconds a lap, I don't think he's going to be able to get Beard Boost. He basically would need Beard Boost to make a mistake and crash on this final lap if Wallaby wants to win this. I don't think that's going to happen.
It's not going to happen, I don't think. This is Beard Boost now coming around to the final stretch for his last lap.
Allen is still right there on Zola, just waiting. He's not even pushing like Dedger was. He just seems to be content to wait to make the move. He seems to be very, very confident in his ability to get by Zola, at least from what I can see by the language that the car is expressing the driver through the car. Come through the last corner, as these drivers will now take their white flag.
I think he's going to do the same again what he did to Dicker.
Oh, did he ever? He did a lot earlier also. So Allen, potential driver of the day?
It could be. It really could be.
The only sad thing for Allen is that the gap between himself and Fiend is about another 18 seconds, so there's no way he's going to catch Fiend, obviously.
Unless he's really lucky that Fiend's got about 20 seconds of penalties, he's got no chance.
Yeah. I mean, we saw that happen in X3, so...
Oh, there's that. Oh, Zola's just received 3 seconds penalty.
And that will actually, unless Dedgar also has those penalties, that'll actually go in Dedgar's favor. Wallaby has cut the gap to less than 3 seconds to Beard Boost, but it doesn't matter. Beard Boost is in the second to last corner. Beard Boost takes the pole, leads flag to flag, although he definitely had some help due to Fortune and his biggest rival on track, Joe Pellet, getting wrecked out. Turn 1, lap 1 by Davis John's AI. But at the line, Beard Boost takes home a victory, flying Wallaby as close as 1.2 seconds at the line. XRL Fiend will come by third at the line. Here comes CJ Allen. He's already pulled off a decent gap between himself and Zola. That's impressive. Wow. He does not care at all. Allen, he's just walked by everyone. He's passed anyone wherever he wants. Allen's going to come by line fourth. Here comes Zola at the line. Fifth, Dedgar. Sixth, Hutch. Seventh. Hutch actually ends up ahead of Dedgar because Dedgar had multiple penalties. Phantom at the line. Eighth. Smoothie actually jumps ahead of Dedgar. Oh, sorry. So Dedgar ends up eighth. Anderson ninth. Phantom 10th. Shmee 11th, and then Hurricane is coming down shortly, as will Kenzak. And then obviously Javis John, who it doesn't seem like, as far as I can tell, Javis John. So with Javis John and the incident at the very, very start of the race, the notification the game gave me was after the turn 1 incident with Javis John and Joe Pelli. After John went into turn 2, the game flashed up a notification to me saying Javis John has just disconnected. And I've kept the tabs on that car all day long, and the disconnection symbol has always been there, intending that the AI has been driving that car all day long. But I do not know if there's a delay between the AI delivering that message or not. And even then, that would be a really stupid move by the AI to just lock up, go right through the grass, and T-bone one of the leaders. So, I'm not saying Javis John did it. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm not saying the AI did it. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm just saying, from what we saw, I do not know. I saw things for certain, but I don't have enough knowledge of the game to know how that actually happened.
I really personally couldn't tell you how that could have happened, to be fair. I really couldn't.
I would say... Okay, that was goofy. I will say this, though. Congratulations to Beard Boost. Another victory. It seems like almost every single race I cover for X2 ends up with a Beard Boost victory. We're going to go ahead and talk to him real quickly post-race. I really want to hear what he has to say about another good win here. Another dominant win in X2.
Very, very dominant win for Beard Boost.
And 6 drivers DNF out of the event. Ooh, Hurricane 21-second penalty at the end of the event. That's no bueno. Oh, here we are. In the party, we have Beard Boost. Beard Boost, go ahead and include your audio. What do you have to say about another victory in X2 in such a dominant fashion?
Yeah, it was a good, clean race. On the field, the car just went easy. Until the rain came, I was a bit slower. I was a bit scared while we was catching up, but we managed to keep it. But he did a good job behind me.
Well, I'll say this much. From qualifying to the race itself, you've been a dominant force. You're looking to be a potential favorite for the X2 Championship. Do you think the X2 title could fall in your hands this season?
I'd like to think so, yeah. I don't know when I can win it, how I can win it. I haven't looked at the points as much. be nice to know where I can win it.
Well, Beard Boost, just want to say, once again, congratulations on win. Driving some very treacherous conditions. Clean race for you, but for the rest of the field, the absolute opposite of a clean race. Definitely one of the messier races I've seen from X2. But again, congratulations. Just out-driving all the problems all day long. I want to give you huge props for being able to do that.
Thank you.
Alright, well, that seems to be able to wrap. That seems to be pretty much the end of our broadcast here. Herbie, I'll say this much. Very, very interesting race. Both X3 and X2, very chaotic and noteworthy, but in completely different ways and completely different directions, to say the least.
Definitely. I wouldn't have thought of the X2 drivers having more incidents than what X3 had, but to be honest with you, it's been more of a equal standing grid where both drivers have got the same pace, so they're both all battling it out between one another in these tight corners.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I have to agree 100% with you. It seems like in X2, not necessarily in qualifying pace, but in race pace, a lot of the drivers are much, much closer together, and it leads to a lot more scenarios that you end up, oh crap, I'm in a scenario, I can't do anything else, and you end up in a bad scenario. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping up the broadcast. Once again, I want to thank you very much, Herbie, for going ahead and joining us here in the broadcast booth. Or actually, this was kind of your broadcast map, however you want to look. I'm glad I was able to do broadcasting with you. Possibility I might end up doing X2 with you next week as well, because next week we're going to be going to Spa-Francorchamps, one of my favorite circuits in the world on the Formula 1 calendar. Until next time, I've been Insane Leader 13. This has been the X2 Extreme Racing League series at Hungary.
Thank you very much.